Okay, we can get started. Calling meeting number 289 of Downtown Toastmasters Club to order at 6:29 p.m. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy to see, I'd love to see more faces. Joyce, thank you for turning your video on. TMoD, you're here. Sergeant at Arms, Jimna, welcome. Faith, at our famous corner, good to see you. I love to see more faces. Periz, okay, I see more people joining. Guys, it is amazing to speak to actual human beings. I know you guys are there, but yeah, just seeing you feels good. Periz, Ingrid, lovely to see you. I see Roy has just joined. I am thrilled to see you all and to have you join us this amazing, beautiful day that is not raining. We thank the Lord, and we are comfortably in our homes. My name is Mercy Mwangi. I am the club president, and I welcome you all to today's meeting number 289, and cumulatively 12 years of downtown being a safe space for both our members, our visiting Toastmasters, and our guests. As it is tradition, I'd like to acknowledge the members of Downtown, our guests and visiting Toastmasters who are present today. So if you are a member of Downtown, I'd love to see those emojis, however you'd like to tell us that you're a member here Downtown, please let us see. Okay? Faith, Eric, Periz, Mwende, welcome all. I always say we never take it for granted that you as a member, you keep showing up every single Thursday, twice a month, and you keep chasing these dreams to ensure that you are achieving all of your public speaking dreams. I'd love to acknowledge visiting Toastmasters. If you are a Toastmaster member from a different club, we'd love to see you. Please let us know by the use of emojis. I see Joyce from Lerai. You can also rename yourself and add your club. Okay, any other? Caroline Kerimi, please tell us the club that you're joining us from by renaming. We only have 2 visiting Toastmasters, Frida, Gashanja as well. Okay, welcome to Downtown. If this is your first time, we're really excited to have you here, but if you're returning, I'm sure there's something that keeps bringing you back. So feel free to be a dual member. You can belong to your club and you can also be a member of Downtown. And lastly, would love to acknowledge guests. If you are not a member of any Toastmasters club, please let us know by a show of hands. Would love to hear from you as well if you're able to speak. If you are a guest. Winfred Wanjero, Michael Mwangi, Anthony, please tell us where you're joining us from and how you got to know about the meeting.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mercy, President. Thank you very much for the opportunity for me to make an introduction. My name is Anthony Gwaru Nyangaresi, and I am ashamed because this is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and I've just gotten around to doing it. It's something I've been saying. This is the one thing that I need to address, because public speaking is one of those things that plays a very vital role in anyone's development. So, and the motive is I find myself in spaces where I have to address quite a huge number of people every now and then, and related to work and sometimes even in social settings. And of course, when someone is not privy to the deeds of public address, it can give you jitters. So I figured, why not go to the space which is safe for me to learn this technique of public speaking, and Toastmasters is the place. And that is why I'm here today. So thank you very much.
Amazing, Anthony. Oh my goodness. Are you sure you don't belong to any Toastmasters club? Because you are an eloquent speaker. And best be believe
Oh,
that this
that
shame
is
ends here. Uh-huh.
wow. That's very reassuring to hear. I'm not a member of any. I attended a meeting once. I was supposed to make it consistent, but I didn't go back. So that is why I'm back now, and I'm hoping to keep the tradition going and the habit up until when I become very eloquent and good in public speaking.
You definitely have a lot more going for you. So thank you for joining us, and we hope that you'll stick around for longer. I saw
Thank you so much.
Ingrid. Ingrid, would you like to speak? Thank you for having your video on, first of all.
Good evening. I don't know, there's so much noise where I am, so I was actually typing on the chat box, but I joined because I came across your page on TikTok, and I joined because my career where I am right now requires me to do a lot of public speaking, so I joined. That's it.
Amazing, amazing. Welcome to downtown. I hope we are able to provide what you need at this point of your career. And you please continue coming until we're able to convince you. A big shout out to the TikTok team, Faith and Salim, the PR team that are doing amazing with our social media. Okay, please stick around. We'll get to hear more from our other guests at the end of the meeting. I'd like to acknowledge the members of Downtown's Executive Committee. So whoever is on this call, please identify yourself using emojis. So first of all, we have the Vice President of Education, who is Eric Kariuki. He is in charge of the educational experience of members. I see him on the call. We have Vice President of Membership, that is Caroline. So for the guests, this is a person that you will be in touch with, and they will be able to help you get onboarded onto Toastmasters and Downtown. And then we have our head of PR, that is Salim Kelvin. He is amazing with our social media. He does a fantastic job. Those posters that have attracted you to our meetings, he is the man behind them. And then we have our secretary, that is Janet Boyani, who's also on the call, and she's able to maintain our club documents and honestly just ensure that everything is not in chaos. And then we have Mr. Moneybags, that is Treasurer Frank Mugwaneza, in charge of the club finances. And lastly, we have Sergeant at Arms, who is the hack master today, and that is Joseph Aruga. I now call upon the acting Sergeant at Arms, that is Jimna Wafula, to please give us the meeting rules and etiquette. Jimna, over to you.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Today, I'd like to request each and everyone who is joining the call to kindly rename themselves. For the role takers, you will start with the hashtag, then the role that you're taking, and underscore, then the name, your name. Like for instance, SAA, hashtag SAA, then an underscore gymnasium. That is for the role takers, so that we can have the uniformity. For the Toastmasters, you rename yourself with the club that you are from, then a hashtag, not a hashtag, an underscore, then your name. So downtown, hashtag gymnasium. If you are a guest, I'd like to request you rename yourself starting with a guest, then an underscore, gymnasium, something of the sort. I'd like to request that you keep your video on as much as possible for a better experience. You mute a microphone if you're not speaking. Vote for your best speaker, your table topics, best person, and the evaluator when called upon. Use the chat and reaction button as much as you can. And lastly but not least, make sure to enjoy yourselves throughout the meeting. Thank you so much, and back to you, Madam President.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Sergeant at Arms. Now, for the benefit of our guests, Toastmasters International is a nonprofit educational organization that teaches public speaking and leadership skills through a worldwide network of clubs. So wherever you choose to be in this world, in this country, in this continent, you will be sure to find a community, a supportive community of Toastmasters members. Our mission in Toastmasters is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Here in downtown, we have one goal which we have held for the past 12 years, and that is to create a safe space where members get to find community and achieve their public speaking goals. Moving on to the amazing moment where I get to introduce the Toastmaster of the Day. Our Toastmaster of the Day understands something powerful: artificial intelligence and everything it comes with. Evans is a data center professional who spends most of his days, the last 10 years actually, ensuring the critical infrastructure that powers AI and the cloud operates reliably. Outside of work, he enjoys spending time with his family and sometimes taking long walks to unwind. Evans is also a champion for taking care of the environment by promoting responsible energy use and encouraging those around him to plant trees. Also, whenever he can afford it, he enjoys traveling and exploring new places. Evans joined Toastmasters to develop his leadership and communication skills, aiming to inspire and share ideas more confidently. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the host of today's meeting, Evans Kyalo.
Thank you very much, Madam President, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters, visiting Toastmasters, downtown Toastmasters, and all the guests who have joined us today. Today's theme is something very basic, foundational, and yet so important. We will be nailing the basics. We often chase the sophisticated and the flashy, but towards the end of this meeting, we're going to learn that by perfecting the foundation, we earn the right to be sophisticated. And when the pressure is on, we don't rise to our goals or the level of our goals. We fall back to the level of our training, to the level we have nailed the basics. We'll come to understand that there's a difference between doing something for 10 years. As Madam President has mentioned, I've been in the same industry for 10 years. And as one of my former bosses used to say, you can have 10 years experience or have 1 year experience 10 times. All this comes down to how well you nail the basics, how firm your foundations are, and that is what we are going to master today. There's a difference between repetition and mastering things. When you repeat without reflection, there is barely any mastery. Hence, in order to nail the basics, we need to have attention, get feedback, and all this requires so much humility. Be humble enough to say that you can still get better at whatever skill you are trying to get better at, or in whatever situations you are trying to get a better result in. So before we dive into the foundations of nailing the basics, I would like us to meet the team that will be running the meeting together, and that team is the tag team, that is the timer. We have the R counter, the grammarian, and the general evaluator. Each of the role takers, I will invite each of the role takers to explain to us how they are going to help us nail the basics, make our foundations firm. And before introducing, there was a question I sent to each role taker, and their response will form part of the introduction. And the question was what foundations they are perfecting this month. On to our first role taker, that is our timer, Toastmaster Isaiah Kimiti. Isaiah Kimiti's response to what foundations he's perfecting this month. Isaiah is perfecting his communication, specifically his public speaking skills, which he believes are foundational for excelling in his next phase of life. Toastmaster Isaiah Kimiti, please explain to us or tell us about your role, the timer role.
Greetings, Mr. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a timer, I will time the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and evaluation. I will also alert each speaker of the time they've left using the green card, yellow card, and red card, which denote specific times remaining. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card. I will raise the green card, just a minute, which is this one here. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card, which is this one here. And at 2 minutes, I will raise the red card, which is this one here. Those giving speeches should limit their remarks to their specific speech times. Icebreaker speeches should be 4 to 6 minutes in length. At 4 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 5 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. And at 6 minutes, I will raise the red card. Most other speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. At 5 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I will raise the red card. The individual evaluation should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. Thank you, Mr. Toastmasters.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Isaiah Kimiti. Next, we have the R counter. And to count our R's is Toastmaster Mwende Maweo. Mwende's response to what foundations she's perfecting this month was that Mwende is working on her discipline, developing healthier habits, and deepening the foundations of our faith. Toastmaster Mwende, please explain to us, introduce your role.
Good evening, TMoD, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as scratch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, you know. I will also listen for filler sounds, including are. I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase such as I, or this means. And at the end of the meeting, I'll report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you. Back to you, TMoD.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mwende. Next is the grammarian, which will be by Toastmaster Periz Wangombe. Peri's response to what foundations she's perfecting this month. Toastmaster Periz is working on nailing the basics of mastering consistency. learning and discipline, showing up daily, even when motivation is low. Fellow Toastmasters, please welcome our grammarian, Toastmaster Periz, to introduce our role. Over to you, Toastmaster Periz.
Good evening, TMoD, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So today, as the grammarian, my role is to listen to the use of the English language. I will highlight proper use or good use of the English language, as well as note any misuse of the language, as well as also note any opportunities for improvement in the use of the language. Additionally, I will also introduce the word of the day. The word of the day today is ostensible. Just share it. The word of the day today is ostensible, which means which is an adjective and means stated or appearing to be true, but not necessarily so, or seeming or stated to be true, but when this is not the case. So, example in the use of a sentence, it's his ostensible purpose was charity, but his real goal was popularity. Or you can also say the ostensible reason for his visit was to borrow a book, but he really wanted to talk to her. I encourage every one of us, speakers, table topics, evaluators, to use the word of the day, and I will give my report when called upon to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, our grammarian. Next, we have the General Evaluator, Toastmaster Caroline Jenga. Caroline is working on being more diligent in her work by being smart and careful in her everyday tasks. Toastmaster Caroline, please introduce your General Evaluator role. We'll come back to Caroline. In the meantime, we'll proceed. And before we kick off the main parts of the meeting, I'd like to clarify that this meeting will be divided into 3 parts. First, we will have the prepared speeches. Today we have 2. Then move on to the table topic session, where we'll be speaking on our feet, impromptu speaking. Then thirdly, we will have the evaluation session, whereby we will get feedback. For each speaker, we'll get feedback, and we will get feedback as a whole from the general evaluator. Now we'll move to the prepared speeches section. For each speaker, I will read their foundation response, then invite their evaluator to read the speech objectives as they introduce the speaker. Our first speaker today is Toastmaster Periz Odhiambo. On what foundations Periz is perfecting this month? Periz is perfecting some very basic personal foundations. 1, Periz is planning to be sleeping by 9 p.m., sleep early. So next, she's planning to plan her week properly in advance. And thirdly, Periz is perfecting the basic foundation of not reacting to every notification like it is an international crisis. All the best, Periz, in your big aspirations. I now invite Toastmaster Joyce Wangari, who will be evaluating Periz Odhiambo's speech, to introduce Periz and provide the objectives for Periz's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Joyce Wangari.
Thank you, TMoD. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Tonight, I am honored to evaluate Periz Odhiambo. Periz is pursuing the Presentation Mastery Pathway, currently Level 1, Project 3. The purpose of Periz project is for her to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance her speech. She should achieve this by presenting a well-organized speech that can be humorous, informational, or any style that Periz chooses. I'll also look at her eye contact and comfort level when delivering her speech. The title of Periz's speech is The $1 Million Pitch. The $1 Million Pitch, Periz Odhiambo. Periz Odhiambo, The $1 Million Speech.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Have you ever met someone who could sell absolutely anything? And I mean anything. I know some of you are so good. You could sell sand in the desert or ice in the Antarctica. Over the years, I've had the privilege of working with entrepreneurs as a sounding board, helping the founders refine their ideas, strengthen their ventures, and prepare them to pitch to potential partners. So naturally, I listen to a lot of pitches. Some are brilliant, some still developing. And then one day, I met Atieno in one of the programs I was coordinating. Atieno walked into the room with complete confidence, calm, composed, direct, no small talk, just presence. The moment she started speaking, I remember thinking, this lady must have been a distinguished Toastmaster in her previous life. Her pacing was perfect. Her eye contact, surgical. Her poses were placed with precision. Honestly, she could command a room. Now, part of my work is not only listening to these fancy pitches. I also visit the entrepreneurs on the ground, because sometimes what you see in the pitch and what you see in reality are two different things. So one day I visited Atieno's venture in the village. And when I arrived, let's just say the reality was very humble. Very humble. The production setup was basic. The operation, small. The innovation she was presenting to investors was essentially a regular, clean cook stove with a fancy logo, the kind many households use back in the village, commonly known as a jiko. At that moment, I thought to myself, well, there's nothing innovative about this solution. This is going to be a very short pitch career for this young lady. But then I watched her pitch again in another forum with investors, and something remarkable happened. Her approach was ostensible. She started speaking about women cooking every day in smoke-filled kitchens. She spoke about health risks. She spoke about children breathing in the smoke. She spoke about dignity, safety, and opportunity, like your local politician. By the time she finished, the room was not looking at a cook stove anymore. They were looking at a mission. And the investors, they were captivated. Now, here's the interesting part. Many of these funders do not always visit the ventures on the ground. They rely on presentations, reports. They rely on referrals. And Atieno was becoming very good at referrals. One investor would say, you need to meet this founder. Another would say to the next, you have to hear her story. So touching. And slowly the pitches started converting. Money started coming in. And I realized something. Atieno had figured out how to convert communication into capital. But was it for the business? Over time, I began to notice changes. She bought land, then more land. Eventually, I heard she had acquired 10 acres. She had the audacity to post it on Instagram. But was it for the business? Then she built a house, a very big house. Eventually, people started talking about a multi-million mansion. But was it for the business? And I remember thinking to myself, Atieno is not just selling cook stoves anymore. She is selling a powerful story. Now that experience stayed with me because it taught me something important about leadership and entrepreneurship. We often focus on innovation, smart technology, seamless operations. But there is another skill that can change everything, and that is communication. The ability to tell a story, fellow Toastmasters, to connect a product to a relatable human problem, to make people believe in the bigger picture. Of course, communication must eventually be supported by real impact results. I am not advocating for Atieno's conmanship or well-packaged tales not supported by results. That's utterly ostensible and unethical politics. But sometimes communication is the bridge that opens the first door. And what Atieno showed me is, in leadership, a great idea is powerful, but a strong story will have your team or potential partners buy into your idea. A great story can indeed be worth millions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Periz Odhiambo. Well articulated. Atieno nails the communication foundations. The money came in, then the land, then the house. Very well delivered. We now move to the next speaker, will be Maureen Kibathi. Maureen Kibathi's response to what foundations she's perfecting this month. Maureen is perfecting raising her hand. Her voice, as they could open up opportunities, both raising her hand and raising her voice. But most of all, she is perfecting the foundation of raising her heart. Maureen Kibathi's speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Andrew Kamanu. And I welcome Andrew to introduce Maureen and provide the objectives of Maureen's speech, and welcome her on stage. Over to you, Toastmaster Andrew Kamanu.
Thank you, our TMoD, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Andrew Kamanu, and tonight I have the absolute pleasure of introducing Maureen Kibathi, who is today attempting Level 1 Project 4 speech. She's in the presentation mastery pathway, and the objective of tonight's speech by Maureen is to offer or present any speech of her choosing. And based on that speech, I will give her an evaluation. And then I want to see how she applies the evaluation that I give her. And then later, she can also serve as an evaluator, because essentially she's learning how to receive feedback, apply feedback, and also give an evaluation. Her speech title is The School of Hard Financial Lessons. So the School of Hard Financial Lessons, Maureen Kibathi, The School of Hard Financial Lessons. Welcome and take it away.
We have all made financial mistakes, right? All of us here. Well, I'm one of those people. Whenever I look back, I think the cost of those financial mistakes that I've made in my past, the value of all those mistakes, if I summed it up right now, I would be owning a piece of land or two by now. I am no financial guru, but I often feel like a student in the school of life, especially with my finances and financial management. Today, I want to give you a story of my past and not so long ago. That was one of the hardest financial lessons that I learned. So before I continue, how many here are old enough to remember Desi? You can put thumbs up. Evans, I can see you. So Desi, for those who don't know, was one of those popular pyramid schemes in the mid-2000s. Most of our parents remember Desi because it defrauded nearly 100,000 investors, up to 5 billion Kenya shillings. Can you imagine that? Back in the day. Back then, technology was not advanced. So people had to queue in the offices for them to deposit their funds and also withdraw. Desi had offices in Nairobi and most central Kenya towns such as Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Kerugoya, Murang'a. My mom was a victim. I remember her queuing in one of those long lines, eager to invest. The excitement had caught up with her. Desi marketed itself as more like a SACCO currently, where members were promised extraordinary returns. By extraordinary, I mean 30 to 40%. Guys, let's be serious. Currently, do you even know a money market that offers such returns? People rushed to invest. Social groups were keen to tell people to invest. The church was at the forefront. And that social economic factor, it led people to want to invest. There was that fear of missing out. You do not want to miss and lose out on the interest. Luckily for my mom, she did not invest too much. The physical offices in these several towns gave it an ostensible legitimacy. So on the surface, it appeared real, but in the real sense, it was more of a pyramid scheme where the early investors are the ones who used to get returns while the late investors suffered. Fast forward to 2020, and this girl, Maureen, is in her second year of employment. She's young, she's curious, she's eager to make it in life. I was so willing to just make more income that I was not so quick in researching anything that was presented to me. So when a colleague brought the opportunity of an investment where I could earn more, I took it with arms open. This platform was called Tradera. I know most of you might be familiar with Crowd1, Public Likes. The list can go on and on. But for me, it was Tradera. Tradera marketed itself as a forex trading platform that could offer you trading signals, it could offer you mentorship, and there was an actual website where we could get the forex information. We also had to pay a membership fee. And guys, let me say it was not little money for me then, having just started employment. So there I went, invested my money. You're on a platform and you're told to refer 9 people, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 9 people. I started messaging everyone in my phone book, nearly everyone in my phone book, to get them to join the platform. But of course, people had questions that I did not have answers to. I had not done my research. I think my research must have been about 5 minutes long then. I was lucky to have one friend join, but whenever we tried to get more people, we realized that this promise of a better life and quick money was really not working. The grass was indeed not green. On the other side, it was painted green. Soon, just like Desi back in the mid-2000s, Tradera also collapsed, and with it went our money. Very hard and tough financial lesson for me then. So what are 3 lessons that I learned from this experience? My mom's experience back then and my experience with Tradera. 1, there is no easy money. They say easy come, easy go. It might apply to some, but for most people, there is no easy money. Number 2, please do not invest your money in an investment that you do not understand or one which you have not done enough research on. And number 3, do not copy. Do not copy your colleague, your friend. Some people have a high risk appetite, while others are risk averse. You might be copying someone, but for them, losing 100K is not much. So was that the last financial mistake that I made in my life? No. I have still made others, but with that lesson, I picked always to be cautious about where I put in my money. And I remember later someone telling me, would you join Crowd One? And I did not even want much conversation about that, because once bitten, twice shy. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Toastmaster Maureen. Indeed, once bitten, twice shy. I also have made financial mistakes, some of which I'm still trying to get what lesson, and I remember public likes very much. Thank you for the timely reminder. We need to nail the basics of financial management. Now, we've had our 2 speakers for today. Now request the SA to run the poll for the better speaker. Our first speaker was Periz Odhiambo and Maureen Kibathi. As we vote, I have some few tactics on how to nail the basics. The first one, we need to adopt a growth mindset when nailing the basics or mastering the foundations. It is a basic requirement in order to master whatever skill you are trying to acquire. You need to expect to master the skill, that is being the right mindset, and maintain high confidence as you stay consistent, knowing that repetition is key. Stay disciplined enough to repeat the mundane fundamental tasks. Sometimes, even when you want to move on to more exciting advanced techniques, it can get boring trying to master the basics. But no matter how long it takes, before you move on to more advanced skills, to more appealing, please master the basics. Now that we are done with the speeches for today, we are fortunate enough to have a tip session, which should be facilitated by Toastmaster Eric Mwangi. Eric is our current Vice President Education, and Eric's tip session will be evaluated by Toastmaster Dovin Oguda. Eric's response to what foundations is building or mastering. For Eric, the year 2026 is a year of balance. As multiple responsibilities compete for Eric's attention, he's learning to strengthen his boundaries, sometimes by politely saying no to adventures that he'd love to pursue, but that would ultimately leave him overwhelmed and unfocused. I will request Toastmaster Dovin to welcome Eric on stage. Dovin Oguda, over to you to welcome our VPE to the stage.
Can you just proceed and welcome him? Wherever the background might not be conducive. Sorry.
All right, thank you. Now, Toastmaster Eric, please take the virtual stage to deliver your tip session.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Evening Evans Kyalo. I'm excited to be here to deliver this tip session. Just to clarify, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Fantastic. So today I'm going to talk about what stands between you, a member of Toastmasters, either downtown or any other Toastmaster, or that person who's still debating whether to join Toastmasters, and the broader ecosystem that is Toastmaster, that is made over 14,000 clubs and over 270,000 members globally. So what lies beyond the club? And what are the opportunities we can take advantage of? Because often the ostensible reason that most people say they join Toastmaster is that they want to become confident speakers or capable leaders, or they just want to have vibes, to enjoy meeting people, networking. So let's first begin understanding where we lie. So when you join Toastmaster, you join a club. And in that club, it helps you become a better speaker. You take up meeting roles like the ones for our counter Isaiah is doing for the first time today. Isu is the grammarian. Later, maybe 6 months to a year, then you say, I can do more. And he will run to become a club leader, maybe a club president, or a vice president of education. He's beyond that. There's something called the area, where an area is basically a grouping of 4 to 5 clubs. And beyond an area, we currently have 18 areas in District 114. Beyond the area, you have a division. A division is where you group more than one area, and we have 4 areas currently in District 114. And then beyond that, we have the District 114, which brings all these clubs, all these areas, and all these divisions together. Currently, District 114 geographically is made up of 4 countries and 3 territories. 1 territory belonging to Australia and 3 other territories belonging to France. Then when you move out of the district, you have the region, and the region now brings in other districts together. We're currently in Region 11, and Region 11 brings the south of the Sahel, African countries, the Gulf states, and Pakistan. And then beyond that, we have Toastmasters International, where we have our world headquarters based in Inglewood, Colorado, in the United States of America. So this is sort of the beyond the imagination of just being part of a member of our club. In this case, the Kenya's finest club, Downtown Toastmasters Club. So what are the opportunities that can we gain and take advantage of beyond the club and the meeting rules that happen on our everyday meeting? We could perhaps participate in a speech contest, take up roles in that. We could take up a district leadership role and go through that governance structure that I've just shared. It would help grow clubs, support existing clubs, be able to accomplish excellence and deliver the club mission. I could participate in 2 programs for Toastmasters, for which I'll speak on. Or lastly, we can enjoy the beauty of being part of the Toastmaster community and network. I'd like to touch a few on what this entails. So if you're going to take a speech contest, you can become a contestant. You can ensure that we run contests every year in 4 categories: international evaluation, table topics, and a 4th category that may become humorous, online, or tall tales. This year, Downtown was able to get 2 winners in the area contest, and I encourage our Downtown members, can you name those 2 winners that were in the area contest? Or you can be part of a contest team. So this is the team that basically delivers a contest, either at the club level, the area level, the division level, or the district level. It has a number of roles. You can have a contest chair, you can be a chief judge, you can be a ballot counter, the one who counts the ballots, or you can be a judge, a sergeant at arms, or a timer. And thirdly, you can be part of the organizing team, the people who organize the logistics of making the contest happen, led by a convener, made up of other roles such as somebody responsible for the public relations, or you can be delegate service, actually bring in sponsorship and partnerships. My question, I've been a convener twice. Could you name which contests and conferences I convened in the last 1 year? That is the question. So if you know the name, drop it in the chat. I would love to know it. But if you don't want to do contests, where can you go? So we have the district leadership roles. These are the leaders who govern the different layers of Toastmasters. At the area level, we have the area director who heads up the area and is assisted by an area council that is made up of an assistant area director, area secretary, club presidents, vice president of education, and vice president of membership. If you're thinking more ambitiously and you want to go to the next stage, you can become the head of a division, which is the division director, and they have a team called the division council, which is made up of the assistant division director for program quality, assistant division director for club growth, and the area directors that make up that part of the division. But the sweeter deal is at the district. So the biggest amalgamation of the different clubs and areas. And this is headed by a district director who is supported by a district executive committee and a district council. So the district executive committee is made of a program quality director, a club growth director, a district admin manager, a district finance manager, a public relations manager, all the divisions directors, all the area directors, and the immediate past district director. And this forms what's called the deck, which is part of the district council, will bring in also club president and the vice president of education as the primary legislative body of Toastmaster at the district level. Then we go to region, and the region is made in by a region advisor. I mentioned that we are part of Region 11. Could you name what entities compose our Region 11? Drop it in the chat if you remember what I stated. And then finally, we have the board of the directors that is led by the international president, who is this year is the first African in more than 100 years of Toastmasters to lead Toastmasters International. Does anyone know her name? She's a DTM. And which country in Africa she comes from? If you know that, drop it in the chat. And her team is made up of the first vice president, the second vice president, the immediate past international president. So these are the roles that you can take up at the district level, starting from club, going all the way to Toastmaster International. Majority of these roles are for a term of 1 year, and you can renew for some of them for another year. Some are appointed and some are elected roles. But let's think you want to work more locally. You want to see more clubs, more Toastmasters club locally, and to support that those already exist, you can do what you call the club growth and support. You can either become a club sponsor, somebody who actually starts new clubs, whether they are corporate clubs or community clubs. You can decide once a club has been formed or chartered that you will mentor them for 1 year, helping them to excel and meet their distinguished club goals. Or you can be a club coach for a club that's struggling. So a club that's struggling has between 3 to 11 members, and they're trying to get more members, but also improve the quality of their meetings. Those are the different roles that you can take on if you were interested in supporting clubs, new clubs come up, or all clubs that are struggling. Then, what if I want to engage more with the public, with non-Toastmasters? So we have two Toastmasters programs that help us support non-Toastmasters who are not ready to join or are not eligible to join. We have the Toastmasters Speechcraft programs, which runs for 4 to 8 weeks, targeting non-Toastmasters who want to become more confident speakers, but don't want to commit as a member. The goodness, once you do this program as a coordinator, working with facilitators and mentors, and having participated in a Speechcraft program, you could always become a member later on once you're ready. Then we have the Youth Leadership Program that supports young people between the ages of 14 and 18 years old who are not eligible to be part of a Toastmasters club so that they can become confident speakers and leaders from the early stage. It runs for 4 to 8 weeks, and you can be responsible for coordinating this program, supporting our next generations of leaders. Both programs are sponsored by a club, and you just need to have a conversation with your executive committee and convince them why you think it's in the best interest for us to run either of the programs. But I've retained the last sweet, juicy bit for the last. What if I'm just joining Toastmasters for vibes, or I've done all the leadership roles, I've done the district roles, and I just want to have fun, network, and enjoy myself? Toastmasters still provides that in something called camaraderie. You can be part of the Downtown Raiders, where we target existing clubs, 5 members show up, and we take the banner of that club. We have done it 3 times. We are doing another one this week, which we cannot mention at this moment until we get the banner. So club raids are a way to build camaraderie and fellowship with other Toastmasters in different clubs. You can participate in a club social, either organizing it or participating where you meet Toastmasters either from another club, either from your club or from, and this helps you engage, connect with them, and build networks either at a personal or professional level. We do have an annual Toastmasters East African Conference. It's held every May. Each year, this year is on the 15th and 17th, where all the Toastmasters participating in the speech contest will end up participating in the grand finale at the district level. And for those who are in the international speech contest, they have the opportunity to go to the World Championships of Public Speaking that have been held in Vancouver, Canada, as the only category that goes beyond the district. So if you want to participate, it's only cost $170, and you'll be part of that making money, magic, and history. And we have a deal that a few Toastmasters in Nairobi have said, why not do a whole adventure around it? Through a bus trip that will only cost you $15,000 to and from Kigali, as we all head up to the TCON Toastmasters East African Conference. But if you're thinking more broadly, and then we also have the international convention that brings all the Toastmasters from all the different countries to participate and engage. And also where the World Championships of Public Speaking are held. This year, the road leads to Vancouver. He wants to leave with a message. We all join Toastmasters for different reasons: to become capable public speakers, better leaders, to connect with a variety of people. The truth is, take advantage of the learning and the leadership options Toastmasters provides in that whole universe I've shared, and you will come out feeling more fulfilled. Thank you. And if there is any question, I would happily drop it in the chat and I'll happily respond to it. But for now, I would like to leave the stage and hand back the mic to the Toastmaster of the evening. Back to you, Toastmaster Evans Kyalo.
Thank you very much, our Super VPE, Eric Kariuki. We see those emojis react to show appreciation. In Toastmasters, we like to appreciate every speaker who steps on the virtual or the physical stage to deliver a presentation. And I request you to comment in the chat. Just type how you are planning to take advantage of the various options that we've seen, how you are planning to go beyond your club. Please type in the chat as we get to the next section of the meeting, which is the second of the three, which is the table topic session, which led by Toastmaster Faith Muhunyo. Toastmaster Faith Muhunyo's response to what foundations she's perfecting this month. Faith is perfecting her management skills especially when it comes to social media. Nailing the basics one at a time through trial and error on the different tools. Over to you, Toastmaster Faith Muhunyo.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm excited to be the table topics master of this evening. The theme of tonight's meeting is all about nailing the basics. And this basically means that you are getting to the simple fundamentals that you are needed to have so as to perform a certain duty. The role of this session, table topics, is for each and every one of us to think on our feet whenever we are asked simple questions, not just in Toastmasters, but outside there, because we are building to being a better speaker, a world stage speaker for sure. For this session, I'll ask a question one at a go. Then I will request one of us to respond to the question, taking 1 to 2 minutes. And that's it. Just 1 to 2 minutes, whatever is coming to your mind, then you can share your thoughts. For my first question, all about nailing the basics. What's that one basic habit that has made the biggest difference in your personal or professional life? What is that one basic habit that has made the biggest difference in your personal or professional life? I would like to invite Toastmaster Roy from Kwanzaa.
Good evening, Faith. You can get me?
Loud and clear.
Can you please repeat the question?
Okay, what's that one basic habit that has made the biggest difference in your personal or professional life?
Okay, thank you. 22nd November 1994 at 6:13 a.m. is the day and time that I was born. I was born in the morning, and God had a purpose for me being born in the morning because I have been a morning person for the last 10 years, starting with reading the book 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. I have been able to accomplish most of my goals in the mornings. I have been able to do a lot when it comes to traveling, morning runs, workouts, going to the gym. I have been able to go to church in the morning. So that has led to a spiritual renewal, professional development, and I've also been able to learn more about Toastmasters. There's a Toastmasters club that takes place in the morning. Sorry for that. Yeah, so, being an early bird, I've been able to achieve so much. And I urge each and every person, let us wake up in the morning, let us be the early bird, that catches the worm. Back to you, table topics, mistress.
Thank you so much, Roy, for your response. What an early bird. Okay, to the next question. We often underestimate the simple skills that we have. What is that one basic skill that you believe everyone, each and everyone, should master? I'd like to invite Toastmaster Caroline Kangai. One basic skill that you believe everyone should master.
Good evening, everyone. Caroline here. One basic skill everyone should master. I'll be very selfish and talk about one basic skill that I think I should master, which is cooking, because I'm a very picky eater. Over there, I hope you hear me. I'm a very picky eater, and I usually don't like what people have cooked for me. Therefore, one thing that I'm trying to do not this year, not this month, it's not something that I've put a timeline for. It's just something that I'm going with the seasons. Like, this is the season, it's been raining, what vegetables, what fruits can I find around? How can I make a meal out of it? Because apparently no one can do it for me the way I want to. And since I'm the only one that knows what I want, I'm really trying to spruce up my cooking skills, which are absolutely deplorable at the moment. However, I can say that I do not enjoy cooking. It's not a fun activity that everyone makes it out to be. I completely despise it. But for sustenance, I will push through, and I hope one day I can teach people how to cook for me so they don't cook their own things. And I don't pretend to be happy about it. Like I said, it's a very selfish goal. I'm learning to cook so I can tell people how to cook for me. I don't know about everyone else. Good luck to everyone else. When you come to me, I'll cook how I want to. And when I come to you, you'll hopefully cook how I want to. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Caroline. You're definitely going to learn how to cook for you. Okay, to the other question. I hope the guests are now ready and have gotten the gist of what is happening. The third question is, think about that one time when things went wrong. So looking back, was there a basic step that you skipped that could have prevented a problem? So think about that one time that things went wrong. And was there that one step that you skipped that could have prevented the problem? I'll pass this to Lucas. Lucas? Lucas, are you with us? Okay. If Lucas is not yet ready, we can pass this to Ingrid Nyakerario. Ingrid?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question, sorry.
Okay. Think about that one time when things went wrong. Looking back, was there that one basic step that you skipped that could have prevented a problem?
Oh yeah, I can think of one time. Last year, I was asked to speak, to actually present for my department at a conference, and I did not prepare well. So I really struggled a lot. I was stammering and using a lot of connecting words, just like I am right now. But anyway, it's an experience. I'm learning. So and it was a really huge conference. I felt like I let my department down, even though the people were very nice and they were encouraging me. At least the content was out there, but the delivery was appalling. So from then I have learned to prepare, do a little bit of research, read, and just practice. I usually do record myself as I try and prepare so that I can at least be fluent enough. That's all.
Thank you very much, Ingrid, for realizing the step was just preparation before the conference so as to prevent from letting people down. The last question, so that you can breathe out to anyone who's been thinking I'll pick them. But this is the last one, okay? Lesson that you learned earlier in life that still guides your decisions till date. Give us a lesson that you learned earlier in life and still guides your decisions till date. Now I'll pass it to Lucas. I hope your audio is okay now.
Thank you. Can you hear me now? You can hear me now? Okay, thank you. So you've asked that lesson I learned earlier in life that still guides me today. So for me, one lesson that I always value most is respecting other people. Because respecting for me has really opened doors and has also created that platform whereby I'm able to interact with different people and also just to get my way somehow. And it's a lesson that I learned the hard way in the sense that I remember when I was growing up, I was a bit, I was that stubborn boy. So I used to really struggle a lot in terms of relationships and also relating with my parents and also people in school. So I realized that it was about me because it was always about me. I didn't always value other people's opinion, and I was like, it must be my way or no way. So it took me a lot to learn that, and I believe that respect will always come first in everything you do. And when you respect other people, definitely that should come back to you. Thank you.
to each and every one of you who's picked this up and didn't ghost me or go offline. A round of applause to all our Roy, Toastmaster Roy from Kwanzaa, who talked about being born in the morning, was destined to be an early bird. The other was Carol, who is trying to cook for survival, learning to cook for survival. Then Ingrid, who's taking her time to now learn how to prepare for conferences and presentations. And last but not least, we had Lucas, who gave us that one lesson, which is to respect for others, and it will always come back to you. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Faith, for helping us nail the basics of thinking on our feet. Before we move to the next tactic, I request the SAA to run the poll for the best table topics speaker. The second tactic, actively seek feedback and evaluation. Because without evaluation and feedback, you can make the same mistake time and again. So I implore you, friends, to actively search for those mistakes, understand why they happened, and correct them. It's a good feedback loop. With time, you will get better, and your foundations will grow stronger. On to the next section. As we say in Toastmasters, feedback is the breakfast of champions. It's a quote by Ken Blanchard. We now head over to the evaluation section. On to our first evaluator, Toastmaster Joyce Wangari, will be evaluating Periz Odhiambo's speech. Responding to the question on foundations, Toastmaster Joyce, as she transitions from customer experience into data analytics, she's building a foundation in data storytelling and problem solving through practical projects. Welcome, Toastmaster Joyce, to deliver your evaluation.
Have you ever met someone who can sell anything? Well done, Toastmaster Periz, on delivering your speech today. As said earlier, the purpose of Periz's speech was for her to practice using vocal variety and body language. What did I love about her speech? We start with the speech structure. Periz had a catchy title, The $1 Million Pitch. Easy to remember. She started by asking us a question, which captivates the audience. Her body was also in form of a story, and as humans, we tend to remember stories rather than just giving a flat thing. On the speech style, which is where we check if she met her speech objective, I loved that Mercy's speech was both informational as well as humorous. She informed us the importance of referrals. Through her story, we got to know that her client got a lot of work from referrals. I loved vocal variation. When she said, "When I arrived," her tone was a little bit low. But was it for business? She also changed her tone to be in a question form. Hence, you met one of your speech objective. On the body language. But was it business? You held your cheek as a way of implying thinking about it. When I arrived, you also holded your hands, which was great use of body language. I also love that you maintained your eye contact. You had intentional pauses in between, which helps to avoid use fillers. Number 3, stage usage, and stage setup. The background was calm, no distractions. The camera position was great, and loved that you chose to stand, which made it easy for us to see your gestures. What can you consider working on? Number one, intentional stage movement. From where I see is that you had enough space to move a little bit, but you didn't do that. Number two, having a powerful conclusion. You somehow rushed towards the end, and I just realized you had come to an end when you said thank you. Examples of great conclusion can include ending with a call to action, ending with confidence, where you slow down your voice, and pause after the final sentence before handing over. All in all, Toastmaster Periz, well done. Great use of vocal variety and body language. Work on your stage movement and having a powerful conclusion. Thank you, and back to you, TMoD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joyce. Next, we have the second evaluator evaluating our second speaker, Andrew Kamanu's response to what foundation is perfecting. This year, Andrew is refining his attitude through stoicism, clearing his lens to see life clearer. Welcome, Toastmaster Andrew, to deliver your evaluation for Maureen Kibathi's speech.
Thank you, Mr. TMoD. By a show of hands, how many of us have never lost money through a pyramid scheme? I'm sure all our hands are down. Thank you very much, Maureen, for that captivating speech. Very, very well delivered. Three things I liked about your speech personally. One is the title and what you chose to speak about. You chose to speak about a topic that is dear to all of us, which is about the ostensible schemes that we find ourselves in. And based on what you decided to speak about, takes me to the second thing I loved about your speech, which is to the flow. Based on the structure, you easily remembered how people get into the schemes. You gave us the 3 examples of how to avoid getting into pyramid schemes. And the third thing I loved about your speech, Maureen, was the engagement. You asked how many of us have joined such schemes. You looked us into your speech. And lastly, was your posture, in that being a virtual meeting, we could easily see your head, your torso when you're delivering your speech. So it was very easy for us to relate with you, and it was easy for you to engage with your audience. 2 things I feel you can improve and work on are, 1, since we could see your torso very well, you could improve on your hand gestures when explaining a point. For example, when you're saying that they were giving 30 to 40% interest, I think we could easily see that, the 30 to 40%, which was unbelievable. Also, when talking about they were running to invest, you could easily show us that, running and the investing. It would even have been better if you had, some money there and show, the actual investing. Secondly, is your vocal variety. I wish you could raise your voice in some areas. For example, when saying 9 referrals, not just 5. Like the vocal variety needs to come out clearly. So I challenge you to keep speaking. I challenge you to push yourself out of your comfort zone. Consider including the hand gestures, and consider your vocal variety. And I can guarantee you, you're going to be a very, very superb speaker when you incorporate these things, because clearly you're on the right track in terms of confidence and delivery. And I challenge with By incorporating what I've recommended, I look forward to seeing your future speeches and how you improve. Thank you, and back to our TMoD.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Andrew, for that very clear and practical feedback to Maureen's speech. On to our third evaluator, evaluating Eric Kariuki's tip session is Toastmaster Dovin Oguda. Dovin Oguda, welcome on stage.
Beyond downtown is the message I could get. It's a message that seems to speak to, we know about downtown, but what else exists beyond downtown? Many members simply know downtown. Eric, by localizing this particular message, you made it easy for people to connect and understand what it is. You told us about the district, you told us about the district events, and in that sense, then people connect. Why is this important? I'm evaluating you on a level where you're working towards being a Toastmasters Leadership Institute trainer. As a trainer, it's important for you to relate with your audience and for your audience to be actionable and when you localized this message. Secondly, your use of PowerPoint animations. Death by PowerPoint is a common joke that we talk about. During your presentation, you made sure that we didn't see everything in one go. Animations slid in nicely, one after the other, as elucidated on the points in a manner that was easy for us to follow you and remain hooked to the end. Thirdly, your engagement of the audience through rhetorical questions. You asked us questions and engaged us even on chat, asking us to comment there. That kind of engagement means even as I listen to you, I'm involved and I'm told that I have a part to play in this journey. For a trainer, it's important that you have this hooked up. It's important that the members know that your training is not just about you delivering to them, but they have a role to play. You showed us that we have a role to play and showed us that even beyond your session, there's more engagement when you asked us questions on chat to indicate that training does not end in the classroom, but you need to carry it forward. With this amazing work that you continue displaying, how can we elevate it and not higher? One, your use of PowerPoint style was very nice. We had you there and your PowerPoint there. Consider testing it because some areas of that PowerPoint covered the screen and you could not see some elements on the PowerPoint. Test it more so that you don't cover what's on the slide during this time. Secondly, consider having an introductory slide which gives us the journey that you're going to take us through. Today, at some point, it felt like I'm driving from Nairobi to Mombasa, not knowing where I'll stop, or from Nairobi to Kigali, not knowing what stopovers will be there. Such introductory slides allow the audience to move with you. And in the event that I think about food and I have to come back to your presentation, I can tell where we are. Thirdly, you had a slide that I felt was busy. What can you do for such a slide? Consider having it in the form of a video that is running so that while everything is displayed, the different posters are displayed, but they're displayed at different points. As such, we are not covered fully. Eric, keep having your message localized, your PowerPoint animations, use of questions and audience engagement. I love that you keep exemplifying it at every stage to see the journey. And thirdly, let's find ways forward to you, training more, empowering more, and adding knowledge to more, downtown and beyond. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Dovin Oguda. On to the SAA, please run the best evaluator poll. And as we vote, I'd like to have the third tactic that we can use to nail the basics is to simply prioritize consistency over intensity. What do I mean by this? Having daily moderate practice is more effective for long-term skill acquisition than infrequent high-intensity brute force sessions. Because true skill acquisition happens through the steady accumulation of practice over time rather than through short bursts of extreme effort. However, choose a manageable level of effort that you can maintain daily rather than burning out on high-intensity training. Our next session of our meeting is the Hackmaster, which should be led by Hackmaster Joseph Karuga. Toastmaster Joseph will test our ears, how well we paid attention during the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Joseph Karuga.
Thank you very much, Mr. TMoD. As you've mentioned, the hack session is ideally meant to test how well we were listening and paying attention throughout the meeting. So this is going to be sort of a quick fire session. And when I ask a question, please respond on chats. And the first person to give us the correct responses is going to be rewarded with ample or plenty emojis and thunderous claps. And so the first question is, when Periz, the first speaker, spoke of a bridge that opens the door, which bridge did she talk about? Please give us your response on the charts. All right, Betty Mwangi was really quick on that. Communication is correct. Betty, let's clap for Betty and let's show her those emojis. The next question is, which is the investment platform that Maureen spoke of that defrauded investors in the mid-2000s? Oh, the responses are really quick. And the first person is our timer, Isaiah Kimiti. Desi it is. Let's show some emojis for Isaiah. You got that one right. The next question is, what are the 3 lessons that Maureen was able to learn in regards to investments? What are the 3 lessons that Maureen was able to learn regarding investments? Keep the answers coming. Yeah, Joyce Wangari, the first one. There is nothing like quick money. Yes, President Mercy, only invest what you understand. That's correct. Can anyone remember what the third one was? Were we really paying attention? So the third one was, do not copy what others are doing in terms of investments. And so on to the next one. Our TMoD gave us 3 things in what he called nailing the basics. What was the first item regarding on how we can go about to nail the basics? Can we remember? Please give your answers on the charts if we can remember what he spoke about in regards to nailing the basics. What was the first point? Joyce Wangari, you were paying attention. You've said accept feedback. That's the first that's not the first point that he gave, but at least that's a correct response in regards to it being one of the three that he mentioned. So accept feedback is one of it. Let's give some cheerful emojis to Joyce Wangari. She's clearly been paying attention throughout this meeting. So the TMoD also gave us something else in terms of nailing the basics. He spoke of mastering a growth mindset, actively seeking feedback, as Joyce Wangari has mentioned, and prioritizing consistency. Okay, Caroline Mukami got that one right, as I was just mentioning it. So let's show some appreciation for her on that. During the tip session that we had with our VPE, what are some of the things or some of the club roles, what are some of the roles that we can participate in beyond club roles that he spoke about? There were 5 of them. Can we remember any? Yes, speech contest, Faith Muhunyo, good stuff. Area level roles. Yes. Okay, district leadership roles. I can say yes. Janet Boyani, that's correct. Joyce Wangari, raiding banners. Yes, that's part of the networking and camaraderie aspect of it. So that's correct. Again, Joyce Wangari. Isaiah Kimiti, vibes. Did he really mention vibes? Or it's part of networking? That's a good response, Isaiah. And where did he tell us that headquarters for Toastmasters is located? Anyone, where is Toastmasters headquartered? Were we paying attention? Oh, Inglewood, California. Caroline Mukami. Congratulations. She's gotten that one right. When he spoke of a struggling club, how many members does a struggling club ideally constitute? 3 to 11, Caroline Kangai. That's correct. Some emojis for Caroline. People are paying attention. If you're not responding, why are you paying attention? So we have the Toastmasters East African Conference happening in Rwanda, Kigali. Which are the days or dates that is happening and in which month? Betty Mwangi, correct. 15th of May. Congratulations. If you want to take a bus trip to Kigali for TCON, how much is a round trip? Oh, 15,000. Joyce Wangari once again. That's correct. How many of us are going by a show of hands? Timer, do we have more time? Oh, excellent. I have 3 people I'm seeing who are attending TCON, 4 people. 5. We are quite a large number. Out of 37, 5 are attending. That's impressive. And in our table topics, what book did Roy Murioki say that he's read? What book did Roy Murioki tell us that he had read? Oh, the 5 a.m. Club. Excellent. That's Betty. You got that one right. And what's the one thing that Caroline despises a lot? Oh, cooking. Periz Wangombe, you got that one right. Yes, she said she does it only for sustenance. That was quite impressive and interesting, I must say. Finally, I'd love to ask, do we remember what's the mission for downtown, as the president had mentioned earlier on in the meeting? What is downtown's mission? Banner it, Betty, surely. Joyce Wangari, that's correct. To offer a safe space where members can find community and achieve their goals. That's undoubtedly correct. Joyce Wangari, congratulations on that. Betty, our mission, honestly, is not just to raid banners, though we seem to be enjoying that aspect of Toastmasters. That's it for me, Mr. TMoD. Back to you. And thank you so much to everyone who participated and made this session very lively. Back to you, TMoD.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Joseph Karuga, Hackmaster today. That was timely and a very good choice set of questions. Joseph's response to what foundations he's working on this month, Joseph looking within a bit more, because as it turns out, most of the answers are to be found there within. On to the next section is where we get our reports. I welcome the role takers, starting with the GE. And our GE was very impromptu today. Our secretary, Toastmaster Janet Boyani. Over to you, Toastmaster Janet Boyani, for your GE report.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. It's a pleasure being your GE today. And before I give out my report, I will start by inviting the tag team so that they can give out their report. And then I can then give my evaluator report. So to start with, I will call upon the grammarian, who is Periz Wangombe, to give us her report.
Thank you, Janet. So for the grammarian report, I must say I didn't catch a lot of uses of the English language, but I did get quite a number of good uses. So I'll just start with the speakers. Periz Odhiambo, she was eloquent. She used a few idioms: selling sand in the desert, ice in the and ice in the Antarctica. Then she also used some good expressions like commanding the room, sounding board, audacity, and taking and she was able to take us along through her story. For Maureen Kibathi, who was our second speaker, speaking about the financial decisions, I would have expected that she would have at least mentioned that those both were the two Desi and Tradera were pyramid schemes or Ponzi schemes. And then she was also able to use the word of the day, ostensible legitimacy, in the correct way. Also, our first speaker, Periz, was also able to use the word of the day, ostensible, twice. Maureen also had used some good expressions: promise of a better life, grass painted green, easy come, easy go, once bitten, twice shy, to just paint a picture of financial mistakes. For the table topics team, Roy was able to tie his bath in the morning to his life, how his life has turned out, him being a morning person, and clearly showed us that he's the early bird that catches the worm. Caroline also had some good expressions. She mentioned that she wants to spruce up her cooking skills, which are currently deplorable, and she just cooks for sustenance at the moment. For the evaluators, Joyce mentioned at some point, she mentioned that not just a flat thing. Well, in essence, I should have completed that to not just a flat speech. Then she also said at some point, no distractions, which I believe she meant no distractions, just bit of vowel pronunciation, syllable pronunciation. I think all in all, on the word usage of the day, a few of the speakers have really tried to make good use of the word of the day. Periz used it twice, Maureen used it once, VPE used it once, and I think that's, yeah, and also Evaluator Andrew also used it once. So that is my report for the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Periz, for that fantastic report. Now on to our second role taker, the counter, Mwende Maweu. Welcome, Mwende, and give us your report.
As the counter, my role was to listen carefully for filler words and sounds such as so, and other crutch words that can distract from a speaker's message. And here is my report. For the first speaker, Periz Odhiambo, no filler words were detected. The second speaker, Maureen, used twice and so 2 times. Table topic speaker 1, Ingrid used so twice and 2 times. Table topic speaker 3, Lucas used 4 times and once. For the evaluators, Andrew used twice. For the TMoD Evans, he used twice and twice. Grammarian Periz used twice and 4 times. Overall, I'll notice that most speakers minimize filler words, which help maintain clarity and confidence. An improvement tip that I would give is to deliberately embrace the pause. When you feel the crutch word coming up, deliberately pause. That concludes my report. Back to you, GE.
Thank you so much, Mwende, for that brief and great report. So to our next role taker, the timer, Isaiah. Welcome and give us your report. Timer, are you on the call? Yeah, so since we're unable to connect to the timer, I'll proceed and give my report, and maybe the timer can give us the report once he's back in the call. Yeah, so to my report today, so the meeting room was open 30 minutes before the meeting started, which is very commendable. And the meeting started promptly on time at 6:29 p.m., which sets a professional tone and also promotes discipline among the team. Also, the EXCO members were well introduced to enable members and guests understand the leadership structure. The guests were welcomed and asked to introduce themselves at the beginning of this meeting. Members and the visiting Toastmasters were also acknowledged, which helped create a welcoming atmosphere for the meeting. The TMoD was well introduced and he explained the theme of the day very effectively. He ensured a smooth transition between different sections of the meeting by consistently linking the theme of the day to the sections. The table topics master, yeah, kudos to your energy. You conducted the table topics master and also having questions relevant to the theme of the day. To the role takers, like the timer, the grammarian, the accounter, you all executed your roles very effectively. Our prepared speeches delivered thoughtful and well-structured speeches. Congratulations to you. The evaluators, you provided very constructive and encouraging feedback, not only to the speakers, but all the members. That also helps us to work towards becoming great speakers. And also to the tip session master, thank you for the fantastic reminder that members can take on many roles beyond the club position, helping us to grow and strengthen our leadership skills. I also loved how you engaged the members and encouraged them to share their responses in the chat box. That was such a great way to keep everyone engaged and involved. So one area whereby maybe we can work on improving is on time management. As you can see, we're slightly behind schedule, and maybe because of a few segments went slightly over the allotted time, and that can be managed by maybe by reminding the speakers when necessary to ensure that our meeting stays smooth and efficient and enjoyable to everyone. Overall, this was a very engaging and productive meeting filled with learning, encouragement, and growth. Thank you everyone who played a role in this meeting and making it successful. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Janet Boyani, our able secretary, for taking up this role impromptu and delivering it exceptionally well. Before we conclude, I see our timer is back. Can give him a minute to deliver his report. Over to you, Toastmaster Isaiah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Sorry for that. My internet was interrupted a bit. So onto my report. We had a wonderful meeting. Most of us, we presented our speech, our talk within the allotted time. Periz Odhiambo presented a speech within 6 minutes, 8 seconds. Maureen, the second speaker, presented her speech within 6 minutes and 43 seconds. The tip session, which was presented by Eric, took 15 minutes and 25 seconds. Our evaluator, Joyce Wangari, presented her evaluation within 3 minutes and 15 seconds. TM Andrew presented his speech within his evaluation within 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Dovin Oguda, TM Toastmaster, presented his evaluation within 3 minutes and 57 seconds. For our table topics, Both the Toastmasters presented their impromptu speech within the allotted time. Roy presented his speech within 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Caroline Kangai presented hers within 1 minute and 35 seconds. Our guest Ingrid presented the speech within 56 minutes and 16 seconds, and Lucas presented within 58 seconds. We did wonderful. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Isaiah. And now on to the final part. As we conclude, something to keep in mind or to recall, if you ever find yourself stuck trying to learn something new, be it learning how to swim, to play an instrument, learning how to run a company, or even a county, and the progress seems really slow, and you just don't seem to be getting it. Ask yourself this, or rather ask yourself whether there is a prerequisite skill that you haven't yet mastered, something foundation or something basic. And almost always, the answer will be yes. Always remember, keep in mind that you cannot ever fake a foundation, and you cannot skip one without consequences. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, the masters never stop practicing the basics. In fact, they practice them because they are masters. Back to the 3 tactics we've mentioned today. First, you adopt a growth mindset, seek feedback and evaluation, and thirdly, prioritize consistency over intensity. It's been a pleasure serving as your Toastmaster of the Day this evening. A big thank you to the role takers and all the participants who helped run this meeting smoothly. And to conclude the final part, I now hand over the meeting back to Madam President, Toastmaster Mercy Mwangi. Over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and guests, that was such an amazing session. Definitely worth our time. I'd love to see those emojis if you'd like to unmute yourself and to congratulate our Toastmaster of the Day. Please do. This is the time. This is the time, guys. Show yourselves. Thank you so much, Evans. We truly appreciate your thought-provoking topic. My takeaway was definitely staying disciplined enough to repeat the mundane, because that is where the ultimate change is. Thank you so much, Evans. That was a fantastic lesson. And we have picked up so much that we can continue with as we progress during this year. Thank you. I would like to beg your indulgence for 5-10 minutes. We can do announcements and then we'll be done. I'd like to call for the ballots. The Sergeant at Arms, can we present the ballots, please? Over to you.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll now like to display the ballots. Let me share my screen.
Yay. Congratulations, Caroline. Jimna, you're on mute.
Sorry. Thank you, Madam President. For the best table topics, we had Caroline Kangai from Runda. We can share the emojis, the claps for Caroline once more. Now on to the best evaluator of the day. Drum rolls, please. Drum rolls.
How do you be drum rolls?
Dovin Oguda was the best evaluator for today. We can share our emojis and so on. The cheers. And on to the last, the best speaker for today. Drum rolls. And our best speaker for today was Periz Odhiambo. Thank you so much, and back to you, Madam President.
Amazing, amazing. Congratulations to Caroline, Periz, and Dovin. You guys topped our meeting today. So congratulations to you all. I would like to quickly invite Agnes onto the virtual stage. As you know, the Toastmasters year is about to end. We start a new Toastmasters year on 1st July. And so we will need to have elections to elect our new club officers. So over to Agnes to make that announcement.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Allow me to hide my face for today. However, you will enjoy my voice. I have an important update, and that is regarding our upcoming club elections. As the club leadership committee chair, I will be running with our club elections to ensure we do have new leaders for the new Toastmaster year that will be beginning in July. Our club election date is 26th of May 2026. Therefore, starting next week, we will officially be opening the nominations period, and we encourage all our members, eligible members, to consider putting themselves forward. What does being eligible mean? You need to be a paid up member, and our renewals are coming up. We need to renew by 1st of April. Number 2, you need to be an active member of the club so that we can bestow on you the power to lead us. Which positions are available? Club president, vice president education, vice president membership, vice president public relations, secretary, treasurer, and the sergeant at arms. We encourage you to either nominate yourself or nominate a member of our club and select a position or a role you think they are suited for. Starting next week, we will share all these on our social and our WhatsApp group. We will share a link that you will be able to fill up all these information for elections. That's it for now, Madam President. Back to you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Agnes, for that announcement. That is specifically to the members of Downtown. Let's ensure that we are taking up these club officer roles. It has been amazing to serve the past year, and we cannot wait to hand over. A few announcements. As it was mentioned, we did have the area contest, and we had 2 of our members, that is Janet Boyani and Kevin Rubia, who will now be proceeding to a larger stage, which is the division conference, where they will now be competing with a lot more clubs. And so we have our Division A contest, which will be on 11th April from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's usually a full day thing, but it's amazing. This will be held at Strathmore University Business School. The investment is only 1,500 shillings. Members of Toastmasters can attend, guests as well. If you're curious to see people competing on a larger stage, please be sure to check this one out. We have all of these posters shared on our socials, so we cannot wait for you to see you there and for us as members of Downtown to go and cheer our own as they contest. Second one is hangouts with other clubs. Here at Downtown, we love to target other along for different things. And tomorrow we have one at Smart Speak. Smart Speak is one of the oldest clubs here in Kenya. Actually, they're celebrating their 500th meeting. And it's going to be a gala dinner. It's going to be awesome. It's already sold out. So for the people who have already signed up, tomorrow we will see you at Golden Tulips for this particular event. So let's come together and let's cheer one of our own as they celebrate 500 meetings in the Toastmasters space. We also have our open house with Blue Eagles Toastmasters Club. An open house is simply a meeting where we're able to sensitize other people, guests, whether it's businesses around the area, to come and get to know more about Toastmasters. So again, to the guests on this call, to visiting Toastmasters as well, please come and experience what an open house is. It's going to be amazing. It will be on the 26th of March, which is the time that Downtown also has its own physical meeting at Cardinal Otunga. So again, we will share all of this information online. So we cannot wait to see you physically on 26th March. As it was mentioned, we are going to Kigali on Wilt. Again, all of this information is shared. For only 15,000 shillings, you get to be in a bus with such incredible people. It's gonna be awesome, 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 awesome. So again, if you're interested, please reach out to us. We will share all of this information with you, and we cannot wait to have you. Membership renewals. Remember, we are in the membership renewal period for April to September. So please, Downtown members, we urge you to renew your membership for only 10,000 shillings. If you are a new person joining the club, that will be 14,000, if I'm not wrong. And this now helps you to continue with your journey. Remember that we have elections. Only members in good standing, only members who have renewed get to be elected in the different club officer roles. So please, please let us renew our membership. Remember, this is also the only way you're going to access the Toastmasters resources. So on 1st April, unfortunately, if you have not renewed, then this camp is locked on your side. So let us not disrupt our learning. Let us continue by renewing your membership. And lastly, of course, here at Downtown, we love you. You keep showing up. We're really grateful. We meet on the second Thursday virtually, 4 Thursdays physically at Cardinal Otunga, and we cannot wait to have you join us. So thank you so much for being a part of this meeting. And it is now 8:37 p.m. and I hereby adjourn this meeting. Thank you for the 32 of you for sticking around for this long. We really appreciate it.
Yay!
Yeah, I mean, for the first time, for me, I had to stay to the very end just to see the process.
Amazing. Thank you, Anthony.
All right.
Gary, we see a lot of people.
Wow.
Eric Oguda, we see Elijah Ngugi, Lucas. Thank you so much for joining us. Roy as well from Kwanzaa. Say hello to Kwanzaa Nights. If you guys would like us to raid you, just say the words and we'll come for you. Because that is our official club mission.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, have yourself a wonderful evening. Thank you, Caroline. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. I've had the pleasure of meeting Caroline physically, and she's amazing. That was a great table topic.
Thank you. Bye.
See you, Derek.
Thank you.